What's going on, everyone? Dan Murphy here, and in this video, I'm going to be talking about cryptocurrency market trends that we've been seeing in the past couple days, and I'm also going to give you some recommendations for what my top altcoins to watch are going to be going into 2018. So, a lot has happened in the past few days in the cryptocurrency market. Looking at things right now, we're at a market cap of around 566 billion. Bitcoin dominance at around 44.1%, which is a little bit lower than what we would typically see. Oftentimes, Bitcoin dominance is somewhere around 50% or higher. So, and just looking at things in general right now, we're seeing a lot of pullback. Um, a lot of cryptos are in the red right now. Things are down. Seeing, almost everything's in the red. We have a couple outliers that are doing well. Apparently, BitConnect is doing okay, but that aside, I mean, looking at this and seeing all these different cryptos in the red, it really depends on how you feel about the market in general. If you're optimistic on the market, if you're bullish on it, or if you have some doubts about cryptocurrency and you're bearish on it. But for me in general, I'm very optimistic about this market, and when I see a lot of things in the red, I don't really take it as anything to be too worried about, as long as it's not like absurd amounts of a pullback. But we're seeing numbers that I would consider to be fairly normal and in some cases to be expected. You can't always expect to have things go up and up and up all the time without there being any sort of a pullback. That's just not how the markets work. You have to assume that there's going to be certain amount of fluctuations that are going to take place in the market with both uptrends and downtrends, and that's just a natural thing that happens in any market. And with cryptocurrency, just because it's so volatile, we see these changes very quickly, a lot faster than you would normally see in traditional markets, such as the stock market or that sort of thing. But um, this is pretty much normal. And honestly, when I see all these cryptos in the red, to me, I just see it as being a pretty large buying opportunity because, it's almost like you can get these cryptos at a discount. If you want to buy some Litecoin, you can get it at a 12% discount. And same goes for all these other cryptos. Because in general, just as a investment strategy, you want to buy low and sell high. You do not want to be buying into all-time highs, because then when there is a eventual pullback, and there definitely will be pullbacks, you would lose value in that kind of a situation. But when you buy low, when you buy in situations like this, when the market is down 10 or more percent, you're so much more likely to end up making money on those trades because you bought low, and then when we do see a rebound and the price goes back up, you gain value because you bought at a low point, and whatever cryptocurrency you purchased ended up going up in value, and you make money off of that exchange. So um, you want to see, or at least for when you're trying to actually buy and invest and make your move and kind of stake out your initial position in some of these cryptocurrencies, you want to be looking out for these red days because it's the perfect time to buy because it's, the price is low. But that being said, just kind of a general investment strategy there. Um, which altcoins do I think are good candidates for long-term investments in 2018? I mean, there's a lot of them. I'm just going to talk about kind of the main ones that I've been thinking about lately and the ones that I have invested in personally. And before I get into this, just full disclaimer here, I am not a financial advisor. You should not take this as investment advice. Don't just take my word for it. You need to do your own research, look into these cryptocurrencies, come to your own conclusions, take a look at the white paper, figure out what's going on with these cryptos, and if it makes sense to you, if you think that there's value there and that these cryptocurrencies are going to solve a real problem and have an actual real world use case, then by all means invest. But I'm just sharing with you my opinion and my feelings on these cryptocurrencies and why I personally chose to invest in these cryptocurrencies and why I think they're good projects moving forward. So with that out of the way, let's get into the cryptos. So the first one that I'm going to talk about is Cardano. Now, Cardano is a very interesting cryptocurrency project because it's part of a group of cryptos that are being referred to as enterprise-level solutions. And enterprise-level solutions are essentially cryptocurrencies that are trying to address some of the major issues we're seeing in crypto right now, and just kind of try and be, I mean, just really a solution to a bunch of different problems. They've also have been referred to as the third generation of cryptocurrencies. So if you have Bitcoin, Bitcoin is first generation cryptocurrency. Ethereum is considered to be part of that second generation because they added the ability to build decentralized applications on top of the Ethereum network. So that was like, that added a whole nother layer on top of just being a digital currency and a transference of value. And now we're coming out with these next generation of, or the third generation of cryptocurrencies, which are these enterprise level solutions that are trying to solve a variety of different issues in the cryptocurrency space, such as scalability, being able to process a large number of transactions per second, and also in some cases addressing the issue of interoperability, which is basically just the fact that you can't send Litecoin to your Bitcoin wallet, or else you'll just lose your money in that sort of exchange because the Litecoin blockchain is not compatible with the Bitcoin blockchain. And that's an issue of interoperability. And in the future, if cryptocurrencies are going to reach a point of wide-scale adoption and just mass use from the general public as an actual digital currency, you're going to need to have that interoperability because it is very likely that it's not going to be just one cryptocurrency that dominates everything. I mean, right now we're seeing Bitcoin dominance, but in the future it's very likely that there's going to be a couple different cryptos, maybe it's 5 or 10 different ones, and I don't know for sure. I'm kind of just coming up with some numbers here, but there's going to be multiple cryptocurrencies that are very popular, and you need to be able to have interoperability between those major cryptocurrencies in order to have like a healthy market and an actual harmonious exchange of value between all these different cryptocurrencies. And in order to do that, you need to have interoperability. So that's something that Cardano is trying to address. So pretty cool stuff there. I'll just show you the Cardano website real quick. If you go to cardanohub.org, you can check it out. Check out the white paper there. They have it listed up here. So just a brief description as the way they describe it. Cardano is the home of the ADA digital currency. So ADA or ADA is the actual digital currency that is the token that has value that's being exchanged on places like Bittrex. So ADA can be used to send and receive digital funds. Digital cash represents the future of money, making it possible fast and direct transfers that are guaranteed to be secure through the use of cryptography. Cardano is also more than just a currency. It is a technological platform that will be capable of running financial applications currently used by day-to-day individuals. So much the same way that Ethereum is being used, they want Cardano to also be a platform where you can build decentralized applications on top of Cardano, in addition to it being used as a currency. So they want it to be a currency. They also want it to be a platform where you can build decentralized applications on top of it to facilitate a number of different functions outside of just being used as a digital currency. And this is a video by Charles Hoskinson. He's one of the founders of the Cardano project. Now, Charles Hoskinson, he was one of the original founders of Ethereum. So this guy definitely understands crypto, and he's a very smart man. And him being a part of the Cardano project definitely gives me a lot more optimism about it. And I just kind of feel better about it in general, that I know we have a trusted authority in the cryptocurrency space who is working on the Cardano project. This is a great video where he basically gives a very in-depth explanation of what is Cardano and kind of the visions that the Cardano project has for what they're trying to do. And highly recommend you check it out. It's about a 30-45 minute video, but if you're serious about cryptocurrency and you want to learn more about Cardano and what they're trying to do and kind of the more technical aspects of what's going on behind the scenes, I highly recommend you check out this video. It's on YouTube. If you just look up Cardano whiteboard, you'll probably find this video, and I'm most likely just going to end up leaving a link for this video in the description if you want to check it out. Alright, so that's Cardano. Another one I want to mention is IOTA. Now, IOTA is a very interesting cryptocurrency because it actually it doesn't even use blockchain. IOTA has their own unique ledger that's referred to as the tangle ledger. The tangle ledger, it's just a different way of processing information, a different way of recording transactions, because Bitcoin and many other cryptocurrencies, they use blockchain technology, which is a particular method of recording transactions and processing the data of various transactions and putting it onto a public ledger that is a series of blocks. The blocks contain a certain amount of transactions that get linked together over time. And throughout the blockchain, you have the entire history of all the transactions that have taken place on a given network. Now with IOTA, they have a tangle ledger that's different from blockchain. And that's pretty interesting, and I definitely recommend that you kind of look into IOTA yourself, kind of figure out, get a sense for what is the tangle ledger. But the main thing that I think is really great about IOTA is that because of this tangle ledger, the technology allows it so that there are 0 transaction fees. There'll be 0 transaction fees for any exchanges and transactions of IOTA, and I think that is a really important key feature that is going to be extremely relevant moving forward, especially in terms of microtransactions, because transaction fees are kind of the main reason why microtransactions are not really feasible with Bitcoin, because transaction fees, they vary depending on the level of activity on the Bitcoin network. But transaction fees, it could be anywhere from a couple dollars all the way up to $15 or $30, and those kind of transaction fees, it just doesn't make it, it's just not feasible to do microtransactions. You're not going to spend $15 in transaction fees when you're buying a $5 cup of coffee. It just doesn't make sense. So something like IOTA can come in and be the solution for these micropayment situations. So IOTA's, they're calling it the economy of things. IoT stands for Internet of Things, and as they describe it, Internet of Things keeps expanding, and the need for interoperability and sharing of resources becomes a necessity. IOTA enables companies to explore new business-to-business models by making every technological resource a potential service to be traded on an open market in real time with no fees. So with IOTA, they're trying to have a currency that can facilitate exchange between devices and smart devices and just various systems, whether it be business systems, administrative systems, and basically just facilitate exchange of value between devices in a way that can happen in very quickly, like thousands of transactions per second, and also with no fees. So that's IOTA. And the next one I want to talk about is Digibyte. Now Digibyte's been around for a couple of years. The company, they first formed in 2014, I believe. And Digibyte, it uses blockchain, and so as they describe it, is Digibyte being a more secure, faster, and forward-thinking blockchain technology. And now I'm not going to go over everything here on the website. You can check it out to learn more. But the main thing about Digibyte that I want to talk about here is just looking at Digibyte, comparing it to Bitcoin. The technical aspects of Digibyte are, it's just objectively looking at it, it's just superior to Bitcoin, because this is a comparison between Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Litecoin, and Digibyte, and let's factor in transactions per second, the block time, and maximum supply. But transactions per second is a huge thing right now. So Bitcoin can only process 3 to 7 transactions per second. Digibyte can process 560 transactions per second. So right there, you can clearly see that, just technically speaking, objectively, Digibyte is a much more efficient cryptocurrency in terms of being able to facilitate a larger number of transactions per second. The block time on Digibyte, 15-second block time. So this has to do with how long does it take to process and verify transactions. With Bitcoin, it takes about 10 minutes, minimum 10 minutes to verify transactions. And oftentimes it takes a lot more than that because there is so much congestion on the Bitcoin network. Sometimes it can take hours or even days to process Bitcoin transactions if there's backups on the network. But with Digibyte, we were processing transactions in about 15 seconds. So I think that's an important thing to note. And that's the main reason why I think Digibyte is a reasonable investment, just because it's already got some attention. Let me go back to CoinMarketCap real quick. But right now, Digibyte, it's in the top 50 coins, so it's not not the most popular or anything, but it's getting there. It's getting there, and I think the technical aspects alone of Digibyte are definitely worth some serious consideration. So these are some of the top cryptocurrencies right now, both IOTA and Cardano being number 6, number 7, respectively. So they're getting a lot of attention, but that doesn't mean that you always need to be investing in the top 10 coins. Now, I mean, it's probably reasonable to assume that the top 10 coins are going to do well, but there have been plenty of gains in some of the lesser known altcoins out there. And now Digibyte is, okay, so right now it's ranked number 47 overall, the market cap of 557 million. And let's take a closer look at Digibyte, take a look at some of the price action on Digibyte. Now, I remember looking at Digibyte either a month ago or a couple weeks ago, and Digibyte was at 1 cent. It might have even been less than 1 cent, but definitely it was at about 1 cent, and it has gone up to as high as 8 cents, I believe. So, you know, potentially 8x your investment. Right now we're at about, you know, 0.6 cents, 0.59 cents. It's been fluctuating. But even still, even right now, if you invested into Digibyte when it was 1 cent, you know, you would have like 5x or 6x, potentially 8x your money. Now, me personally, unfortunately, I did not invest into Digibyte when it was 1 cent. I actually made my first investments into Digibyte yesterday. I bought in when it was at 370 satoshis, so 370 satoshis. And satoshis, for those of you who don't know, is basically just another way of saying what is the Bitcoin value of a particular currency. It's measured in this decimal right here. So right now it's at 409 satoshis. So it's basically just taking this number right here and just pretending that this decimal's not here, and you're basically just reading this. So what is its what fraction of a Bitcoin? How much is it worth? That number is the number in satoshis. So if it was 0.01 Bitcoin, then it would be, let's see, 10 million satoshis. Right? Oh, let me see. Or no, 1 million. 1 million satoshis is 0.01 Bitcoin. So, but anyways, it's just another way of representing the value of a currency. It's in a lot of ways it can be more of an accurate representation than just looking at the US dollar amount. But anyway, so looking at Digibyte, we see that, let's take a look at the last 3 months on Digibyte. But, you know, you'll see that at one point it was trading at 1 cent, around 1 cent, and we had a pretty significant run up. All right, so early December it was at 1 cent to 1.5 cents, and then we saw a run up from there, went all the way up to 4 cents, then some consolidation, then another run up to 5 cents, 5.6 cents. Then we had a pullback down to 3 cents, and then another run up, and this time going even higher, reaching all-time highs of 8 cents. And then since then we've had a bit of a pullback right now, but I think that actually represents a great opportunity to buy in, because in general I do not like buying during all-time highs. I most likely would not have invested at this point of around 8 cents at the all-time high. But since we have seen a pullback, and we've seen some some small amount of consolidation around around a lower level, I think that is a good point to actually make your investment. So after noticing that Digibyte had a huge run up from 1 cent all the way up to 5, 6, 7, or 8 cents, seeing that there was a pullback and some minor consolidation at that pullback, I think that is the excellent time to invest, and you want to be looking out for these patterns with these cryptos. Let me see if I can illustrate that here. So, yep, here's the all-time highs and the pullback. Well, here's the consolidation that I'm talking about. So more or less staying at the same level for a couple days. That's what you want to see. You want to see that stabilization when you're trying to pick a point where you want to go in. Ideally, you want to look for a pullback and then see some consolidation, and that's when you want to make your move. When it's down, buy in the red, and you should be good. Should be good to go. But yeah, so that's Digibyte. I think there's definitely a lot of potential for Digibyte. It's still kind of not as well known, but it's picked up a lot of traction lately since it has had such a large run up in the past couple weeks. It's definitely getting a lot more attention. I think people will once they take a look at Digibyte, do some research, understand the technical implications of Digibyte, it being able to facilitate hundreds of transactions per second, the 15-second block time. Just looking at it objectively, I think the technical aspects of Digibyte make it superior to either Bitcoin or Litecoin. And I mean, people like Litecoin just because it's faster than Bitcoin and it has lower transaction fees. But Digibyte's even better. And another thing I forgot to mention earlier is the transaction fees on Bytecoin, or I'm sorry, not Bytecoin, on Digibyte are so low, like fractions of a penny. So this less than 0.001 cent transaction fee. So basically negligible transaction fees. They're not zero, but it's an amount so small that it is basically negligible, and it's really just there so people can't just spam the network with just spam transactions to try and manipulate the price that way. That's why the minimal transaction fee exists. It's to counteract spamming. But yeah, so that's Digibyte. Definitely feel optimistic about this one. We're still very early on. Not even just with Digibyte, but cryptocurrencies in general. There's still so much room to grow. And so those are my top three right now. So Cardano, IOTA, and Digibyte. But I would like to bring up a couple honorable mentions as well that I think would be reasonable coins to invest in as well. So, okay, computer's being slow here again. Apologize for that, but I'll just throw out a couple that I've been thinking about as being reasonable investments. EOS is one that's been getting a lot of attention lately. EOS is they're actually still in the middle of their ICO phase. I think this has been the longest ICO in history, and they've also raised the largest amount of money for any ICO. It's been hundreds of millions of dollars, like $500 million, I think, at least. And the EOS token has increased in value quite a bit. At some point it was somewhere around like $2, might have been $1. I forget exactly how much it was at the time of the launch. But now the EOS token, see here, it's trading at $9.67, and I've seen it be as high as over $10. And EOS is one of the new third generation of cryptocurrencies, one of the the enterprise level solutions that are trying to address some of the major issues in cryptocurrency. And there's a lot of optimism about EOS right now. A lot of people think that it's going to be the next big thing. Some people are calling it the Ethereum killer. I don't know about that, but there's been a lot of optimism into EOS, and a lot of people have been buying into this. Now, me personally, I have not invested into EOS just yet, but I'm seriously considering it. I definitely am. I've seen a lot of authorities in the cryptocurrency space are talking about EOS, and they're really, they're hyped about EOS, and they're thinking that this will be the next big thing. So you're hearing this from, it's not just one person or one source. A lot of authorities in the cryptocurrency space are coming forward and talking about EOS and how it's going to be the next big thing. Now, as for who's working on EOS, a guy named Dan Larimer, he's one of the founders of EOS, and Dan Larimer has gone ahead and he has created his own successful cryptocurrencies that have done really well in their own right. So he has a proven track record of success. Dan Larimer, he's the creator of BitShares and also Steem and Steemit. And both of these are, I believe, their top 50. Their top 50 coins. I know BitShares is up there, and Steem and Steemit are up there. So he has a proven track record of creating successful blockchain projects. So, I trust in him. I trust in what he has done, and you need to look into who are the people behind these coins. What's the development team? Do they have a proven track record? Have they, are they winners? You want to invest in people who are winners and have a proven track record. I mean, there's more factors you want to consider, but that's definitely something you do want to consider when you're evaluating all these different cryptos and, if you want to invest. So feel pretty good about EOS. I definitely think that's worth mentioning. Also, Stellar Lumens is a good one. So with Stellar, Stellar is actually a fork off of Ripple. And Ripple, that's another one that I do want to mention. I think Ripple is also a good long-term investment moving forward. So Stellar was a fork off of Ripple. And with with Stellar, what they're trying to do is basically they want to be a payment solution for companies and corporations. And Stellar has actually announced that they have a partnership with IBM. And I think that bodes very well for Stellar having such a high-profile partner and a client. So IBM is going to be adopting Stellar. They're going to be using Stellar to facilitate some of their payments and their transactions. So, it's going to be a payment processing solution and also a way to just facilitate transactions between other companies. So Stellar, they want to be facilitating transactions between companies, whereas Ripple, on the other hand, what Ripple is trying to do is they want to facilitate transactions between the banks and the financial institutions. So international transactions between banks right now are in general still kind of using kind of outdated and inefficient technologies such as AHC wire transfers that can take days to process, and there's significant transaction fees associated with using wire transfers. So there's a real problem right now in facilitating international transactions between banks. And that's a problem that Ripple is trying to solve. So, there's a real world use case for Ripple, and I think that that's just a really good sign, and that's part of the reason why we've seen that Ripple has increased in value so much lately. Taking a look at Ripple. Right now, we're trading at 129, and it's one of the only cryptos that is not in the red right now and is still continuing to grow while everything else is going down right now. And I remember when Ripple was about 20 to 25 cents a couple months ago, and I was looking into it, and wow, so it's gone up even more since then. So it went from about 20 to 25 cents all the way up to $1.32. So either 4 or 5 times in value, 4xing or 5xing your money is pretty good. So I mean, Ripple's had a really big run up lately, and I think that the use case is there. And I have invested in Ripple before, and but unfortunately, I didn't actually, I didn't hodl. I didn't hodl with Ripple. I bought some Ripple and then I sold it before the run up. So I made a pretty bad decision there. The reason why I sold off my position in Ripple was that the price just wasn't moving. It was just kind of stagnating and consolidating at this 20 to 25 cent mark. And I was just kind of bored with it, and I thought to myself, like, Ripple, it's not really doing anything, so I'm just going to sell and invest in something else that's actually going to move. And it was a bad move because a week or a couple weeks after I sold out of my position in Ripple, the price increased a bunch. It went up from 25 cents to 50 cents, 75 cents, $1, and now all the way up to $1.32. So if I had just been patient and had just just hodled, just hodl till you die kind of mindset, I would have done well. So let that be a lesson to investors out there that if you're gonna invest into something and you believe in long-term holds and hodling, don't sell. Buy and hold and just keep holding for, just buy and hold. All right, don't sell off too early. I made that mistake with Ripple, and I missed out on a ton of gains with Ripple. But that being said, the money that I invested in Ripple, I took it out and I put it into Cardano. So it's not like I lost out entirely, but what I really should have done is just kept my money in Ripple and then take separate money and invest that into Cardano. So then I would have had investments in both Cardano and Ripple, rather than taking my money out of Ripple and then putting it into Cardano. I was basically just being impatient, and it's a bad strategy. So yeah, just buy and hold, and you will most likely do well. It's pretty hard to lose in these markets right now. Almost everything's going up. Now, obviously, you still want to do some research and actually evaluate if these are legitimate projects in of themselves, and just really kind of do your own due diligence and in determining um, which projects really resonate with you and you think have a lot of potential to grow in the future. Um, so I realized this video is getting kind of long. I try not to let my videos get too long, but I've just had a lot to say in this video. So I mean, hopefully you've gotten some value out of the information thus far. But I'm going to try and wrap things up here and just kind of quickly go through the last couple altcoins that I think would be good investments to look into in 2018. So I think Dash is definitely one. Dash is kind of it's almost like a privacy coin because it does allow you to send transactions anonymously. That's kind of one of their selling points. But in addition to being able to send anonymously, it's also relatively fast transaction times is kind of another thing they're going for. Another reason why I think Dash would be a good investment is that it has a pretty low supply of the actual coins. So they have a maximum supply at about 18.9 million Dash. So I mean that's even less than Bitcoin. And just looking in terms of supply and demand, one thing you do want to look at is what is the maximum supply of a given coin. When it's low, there's a really high potential for the coin to go up to very high price levels. Whereas if the supply is extremely high, it kind of limits the value of that the individual coins themselves can get to. Now, it doesn't mean that it can't have a large market cap, because you can have coins with a very large market cap, but in order for the individual coins themselves to reach these really high dollar valuations, you need to have a relatively low supply compared to the market cap. So you need a high market cap, but you also need a low supply to end up having a really high priced coin. And Dash kind of has that going for it. And Dash, it's really popular in South Korea as well, I believe. And the South Korean community is very influential in the cryptocurrency space because, in general, cryptocurrencies have had much more wide-scale adoption in South Korea compared to other countries. So due to the fact that Dash is so popular in South Korea, it bodes well for Dash. They get a lot of trade volume from South Korea. And I think there's a lot of potential for Dash to grow as well. Let's see here. So privacy coins in general are definitely something you want to look at. Now, me personally, I'm not suggesting that you invest in Verge, but Verge has had a crazy run up in the past couple days, even past week or so. Verge went from being, like about 1 cent or maybe a fraction of 1 cent, all the way up to 25, 26, 27 cents, which is an absolutely insane run up. However, since then we have seen a very significant pullback in Verge. It went from 25, 26, 27 cents, pulled back all the way down to 13 cents. And I think that's only natural after seeing such a massive run up that there's going to be some amount of pullback because people are going to be selling off their positions, trying to lock in some profits. And this is kind of case in point why I don't think it's a good idea to invest in all-time highs, because if you saw the insane run up that Verge was having and you bought into Verge when it was at 25, 26, 27 cents, you would be hurting right now because you'd be down on your investment because there was a significant pullback from those all-time highs. So this kind of demonstrates the dangers of investing in all-time highs, which is why you kind of want to try and avoid doing that. I mean, yes, there is the potential that it could just keep going and going and going, but realistically, that's just not going to happen. You're gonna see a pullback at some point. It's just a matter of when you're going to see that pullback. But I bring it up. The reason I bring this up is because Verge is a privacy coin. It has that selling point of being able to send and receive transactions anonymously, and privacy coins get a lot of attention. And I think that it's worth looking into other privacy coins besides Verge, because I mean, there's no guarantee you're going to have a similar run up the same way Verge did, but there's a lot of interest in privacy coins right now. Monero, for example, is a very popular privacy coin that has had a pretty significant increase in value as well. As for whether or not you should invest in it right now, I'm not really sure. I'm not going to, but it just shows that there's a lot of interest in the privacy coin space. And however, one coin that I do think is a pretty good investment opportunity is Bytecoin. Now, Bytecoin is another privacy coin, one that is going to allow you to send and receive transactions anonymously and untraceably. And I think it is very undervalued right now. Individual Bytecoin is worth fractions of a penny right now. So, a little bit more than half of a penny right now. So, but it still has a pretty large market cap of, just over $1 billion. So it's $1 billion coin where the individual tokens are really cheap right now, potentially being undervalued. But there's still a lot of attention on Bytecoin, considering it has a market cap of 1 billion. So people are still investing and transacting in Bytecoin. I mean, looking at the 24-hour volume, it's not that high at only 12 million. But even still, I think due to the fact that Bytecoin is a privacy coin and it is still, in my opinion, being undervalued right now, it could be a good potential investment for you moving forward. And right now we're in a bit of a dip, so this could be a good buying opportunity because, it's like you're buying the Bytecoin at a 13% discount. One thing you want to, keep track of is that Bytecoin, there is a very high max supply of 184 billion. So it's not like Bytecoin is going to be worth thousands of dollars in the future, but even if it reaches like 10 cents, 20 cents, 30, 50 cents, that's still massive gains from its current valuations of currently being at a fraction of a penny. So I definitely think there's an opportunity in Bytecoin, and I do plan on investing in Bytecoin in the future. Last few things I want to mention before I wrap up this video. Siacoin. Siacoin is basically, you can think of it as being like a decentralized Dropbox type service that uses blockchain, where basically people on the Siacoin network, they will be able to essentially rent out their computer storage space for other people to use, and they will be paid in Siacoin for their service of renting out their computer storage space. So I think it's an interesting way to kind of go about, decentralized cloud storage in a way that is creating a network of people that can work together and kind of generate value and resources by exchanging computer storage space and earning Siacoin at the same time. So Siacoin, it was valued at less than a penny a couple weeks ago, fractions of a penny. It has since gone up about 2 or 3x, and we're now at about, we're at 2.5 cents right now. So Siacoin has had a pretty good run up, and I still think there's potential to grow for Siacoin. And Golem as well is another interesting project. So Golem is basically, the idea behind Golem is that they're trying to create a decentralized supercomputer network where they're basically linking everyone's computing power to create this, kind of global decentralized supercomputer network. And I think that's a really cool idea too. I mean, just the idea of like a decentralized supercomputer is just a really cool idea. And I mean, we'll see how it plays out in practice, but in theory, it's a very cool idea. And I believe there's also going to be a reward system involved in the Golem network where people who contribute their computing power towards the supercomputer will also be rewarded in Golem tokens. And last one I want to mention is Substratum. Now, Substratum, at one point it was valued at like 13 cents or something. It has since had, a pretty significant run up, going from 13 cents to, at one point it was over $1. Right now we're pulled back to below $1, but basically 10xing in value over the course of a few weeks. And the idea behind Substratum is that they are trying to create decentralized web hosting, which I think is going to be very relevant moving forward, especially what has happened recently with with the FCC and the announcement that they were going to repeal the net neutrality and IGPI and what's been going on with all that sort of thing. So I mean, net neutrality it's getting a lot of attention and can be a serious issue. So Substratum providing decentralized web hosting services could be a solution for people who don't want to have their web hosting and their internet service providers coming from a small group of companies that have a monopoly on the whole internet service providing space. Instead, you can have an alternative with Substratum where they're offering decentralized web hosting where you can, get your web hosting from a, not from a private company, which is what is happening for the most part right now. So that pretty much wraps up this video. I know it's kind of long, but again, hopefully you got some value out of this. Hopefully you learned something. If you like this video, give it a like, hit that like button. I would really appreciate it. It definitely helps. And subscribe to the channel if you want to get some more cryptocurrency related content. And yeah, hopefully you had a great day, you enjoyed this video, and peace out.